In South London, massive stone staircases rise to nothing. Crumbling terraces frame an absence where once stood mankind's first glimpse of the future. The largest building ever constructed vanished without a trace. He had no architectural training. His inspiration came not from great cathedrals or classical temples, but from a floating leaf. A gardener who in just 9 days sketched a revolutionary design that would transform how humans build forever. What made the Crystal Palace so revolutionary that modern skyscrapers still echo its DNA, and why, after a mysterious fire reduced it to ash in 1936, was this wonder of the world, a structure that could have been rebuilt, deliberately left to memory? Joseph Paxton began his career as head gardener at Chatsworth House. There, he pioneered revolutionary greenhouses, studying how nature itself solved structural problems. He was particularly fascinated by the Victoria amazonica water lily, its massive leaves supported by a network of natural ribs so strong his daughter could stand atop them without sinking. When London announced the Great Exhibition of 1851, a global fair to showcase Britain's imperial might, they needed a suitable building. The exhibition committee's design contest produced no workable winner, and time was running short. Legend has it that during a boring committee meeting, Paxton sketched his radical idea on a piece of blotting paper, essentially a giant greenhouse. The structure would be made entirely of standardized parts, iron, wood, and glass, that could be mass-produced and simply bolted together on site. Architectural Airport scoffed. The journalist Douglas Jerrold jokingly dubbed it a Crystal Palace, a nickname that stuck. But with just 8 months until opening day, Paxton's design offered something crucial: it could actually be built in time. The scale was staggering: 1,848 feet long, 456 feet wide, covering nearly 1 million square feet. But more revolutionary than its size was how Paxton built it. Traditional architecture relied on skilled craftsmen creating unique components. Paxton's approach was radical: standardize everything. Every glass pane measured exactly 10 by 49 inches. Every iron column cast to identical specification. The entire structure was based on a repeating 24-foot square module, multiplied 77 times in length and 19 times in width, like a giant chessboard in 3 dimensions. At peak construction, 2,000 workers swarmed the site. Teams worked in parallel, assembling sections simultaneously. Paxton designed ingenious gutters that served 3 purposes. They drained rainwater, supported glass panels, and provided tracks for glaziers' trolleys. His workers could install an astonishing 18,000 panes per week. When public protests erupted over plans to cut down Hyde Park's elm trees, Paxton simply redesigned the roof, adding a soaring 72-foot-high transept, a barrel-vaulted arch tall enough to enclose the trees entirely. This impromptu solution became one of the building's most iconic features. Just 39 weeks after breaking ground, the impossible was accomplished, on time, on budget. The Crystal Palace stood complete, a physical manifestation of British imperial power and industrial might. May 1st, 1851, Queen Victoria entered the Crystal Palace to officially open the Great Exhibition. In her diary, she called it the happiest, proudest day of my life. What unfolded inside over the next 6 months was unprecedented. 100,000 objects displayed along 10 miles of exhibition space, 15,000 exhibitors from around the world. The British Empire and its colonies occupied half the space, a physical manifestation of Britain's global reach. At the heart of the exhibition sat the Kohinoor diamond, recently acquired from India, symbolizing Britain's imperial acquisition of treasures from across the globe. The exhibition transformed class divisions, if only temporarily. Initially, tickets cost £1, a sum only the wealthy could afford, but prices eventually dropped to just 1 shilling on shilling days, allowing working-class visitors to experience the wonder. By the time the exhibition closed on October 15th, over 6 million visits had been recorded, equivalent to a third of Britain's entire population. The Crystal Palace had become a cultural phenomenon. As the Great Exhibition ended, the Crystal Palace faced an uncertain future. Built as a temporary structure, it was scheduled for dismantling, but in an unprecedented move, a private consortium purchased the structure. The Crystal Palace would not be destroyed, it would be reborn. The new location was dramatic, a commanding hilltop in South London. The redesigned structure was larger and more impressive than before, sitting atop elaborately landscaped terraces with fountains and gardens. Inside the palace was transformed into a Victorian theme park. A team of artists created a series of spectacular courts, immersive educational exhibits where visitors could wander from ancient Egypt to the Alhambra Palace in Spain. Outside, sculptor Benjamin Waterhouse Hawkins created the world's first life-size dinosaur models. In a publicity stunt, he hosted a New Year's Eve dinner party inside the hollow mold of an iguanodon, distinguished scientists dining inside the prehistoric beast. As years passed, the Crystal Palace became a hub for Victorian entertainment and cultural firsts. The world's first cat show was held there in 1871. Handel festivals featured thousands of musicians. Even the FA Cup finals were played in its grounds from 1895 to 1914. But as the Victorian era faded into memory, so did the Crystal Palace's fortunes. By the 1930s, the once sparkling palace was showing its age. Attendances dwindled despite renovation attempts. The Great Depression further strained its finances. November 30th, 1936, Sir Henry Buckland, the palace's manager, was walking his dog with his daughter Crystal, named after the building that defined her father's life. As dusk gathered, Buckland noticed an eerie red glow flickering inside. What began as a small fire in the cloakroom spread with alarming speed. The Crystal Palace, with its acres of timber floors and thousands of glass panes creating a chimney effect, had become the perfect environment for an inferno. The fire could reportedly be seen from 8 counties away, a beacon of destruction visible across southern England. By midnight, an estimated 100,000 people had gathered to watch the Victorian wonder burn. Winston Churchill stood among the spectators. As he gazed into the flames, he uttered words that would become famous. "This is the end of an age." By morning, all that remained was a smoking skeleton of twisted metal. 85 years of history had been reduced to ash. Despite investigations, the cause of the fire remained a mystery. With Britain inching toward war, there was neither will nor resources to rebuild. The Crystal Palace burned to ash in 1936, but its DNA lived on in every glass tower that punctuates a modern skyline. Paxton's revolutionary approach, standardized components, prefabricated elements, the integration of structure and light, now defines contemporary architecture. In South London, Crystal Palace Park remains as a green legacy. The Victorian dinosaurs still guard the lake. The terraces and sphinxes still stand, silent witness to what was lost. The name lives on. The neighborhood is still called Crystal Palace. The local football club bears the name. Even local pubs and cafes incorporate the name, preserving the memory in everyday life. Joseph Paxton began his career creating perfect environments for exotic plants. His genius was to apply nature's engineering solutions to human problems. As a gardener, he understood something that architects had forgotten, that strength can come from lightness, that transparency can be more powerful than solidity. From a gardener's greenhouse to a symbolic peak of an empire, from a temporary exhibit hall to an enduring architectural revolution, from Victorian spectacle to modernist principle, the Crystal Palace may have vanished in flame, but its legacy grows on. In every glass skyscraper that punctuates the city skyline, in every prefabricated structure that rises with efficiency, in every space designed to celebrate light rather than walls. Perhaps that is the most fitting memorial to Paxton's achievement, not preserved in stone or protected from time, but continuously reimagined and reborn, like seeds scattered from a gardener's hand, still sprouting in unexpected places, still reaching toward the light. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video and would like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. That stuff really helps the channel out. And if you have a friend that you think would also like this video, please feel free to send it their way. If you have any video topics you'd like us to cover in the future, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.